Oh, you guys are too kind. Good afternoon. What an amazing event. I will tell you, I am so overjoyed to be here. Kathy, thank you so much. Senator Warner at Old Dominion University and the various sponsors. Just a beautiful sight from where I sit here. You all look amazing. So thank you so much for that kind welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and all of the beautiful and strong women in attendance, I stand before you today with tremendous gratitude and deep sense of responsibility. It is indeed an honor to address this women's conference under the theme, Harness Your Power, a theme that resonates with me and hopefully to the majority of you, and I'm sure it does, attending here today. At a time such as this, a time when more than ever we must move forward with fortitude, elevate our power for a new era of impact. As the commanding officer of Naval Station Norfolk, I have been blessed with numerous opportunities to speak to civic organizations, workforce organizations, students, servicemen and women. I can truly say that this is certainly one event I've been looking forward to and one that I believe will have the most impact. Senator Warner, I know he is not here, but I thank him so very much for this incredible opportunity. Thank you to the many individuals who worked hard, because this just does not happen on its own. So for all of those that helped put this amazing conference together, thank you. Class Act, Old Dominion, of course. Thank you so very much. And to everyone in attendance today, thank you for being here. And I mean, and being present. Attending an event such as this speaks volumes. It says no matter what our age, what our demographic, what our race, no matter what our past entails, there is always, always, always time for fellowship, growth, and improvement. Over the next few minutes, I would like to just touch on a few topics that I believe resonate with us all: breaking barriers, shattering stereotypes, and harnessing the unlimited power within. As I stand before you, I am acutely aware of the pioneers who have come before me, women who have had the audacity to challenge the norm, women have refused to accept limitations, and women who have opened doors that had long been closed. Their courage and resilience paved the way, and for that, I am eternally grateful. This is simply the beginning. There are still challenges ahead. There are still barriers to break. The path of leadership, particularly in the fields traditionally dominated by men, can be arduous and also often discouraging. However, precisely through our trials and tribulations that we discover the untapped power within us. Harnessing your power begins with recognizing your worth. Each one of you possesses unique talents, skills, and strength. Embrace them, for they are the tools to overcome adversity and achieve greatness. Never doubt your abilities and never let anyone else define your potential. The year that I was born, in 1968, women made up 48.9% of college students. Today, you earn almost 60% of the college degrees and make up roughly half of the workforce. Back then, the birth control pill was still illegal in some states. And today, thanks to various care initiatives, birth control is available to women who desire alternatives to family planning. And that debate continues to set their own path regarding their bodies, decisions that belong to each individual and their families. Back in the 1960s, women actually needed a husband to apply for a credit card. Today, some women are choosing to be single, and that's okay. Or starting families on their own, and that's okay. And all Americans are able to marry whoever the devil they want and whoever they love. Those who blazed the trails did so unapologetically, with a desire to challenge the norms. Women who aspired to see a future that gave promise and offered access and a seat at the table. 54 years ago, NASA research mathematician Katherine Johnson made many critical technical contributions to NASA spaceflight missions, including calculating the trajectory of astronaut Alan Shepard's historic 1961 flight. Today, 72 women have flown into space themselves. When I was growing up, fewer than 300,000 girls played high school sports. Today, because of Title IX, which requires all educational institutions in the United States to reward male and female athletes equally and ensures the prevention of discrimination when it comes to assessing sports facilities, training centers, equipment, and support provided to sports programs, more than 3 million girls are on the field. Women are leading America at every level of society, from Hollywood to Silicon Valley, from the C-suite to the federal bench to the military. And that, my friends, is progress, although we still have a ways to go. It's real, and we have to celebrate it. We also have to remember that progress is not inevitable. It's the result of decades of slow, tireless, often frustrating, and unheralded work by people like Dorothy Pittman Hughes, a pioneering Black feminist, child welfare advocate, and lifelong community activist who toured the country speaking with Gloria Steinem in the 70s. People who opened our eyes to the discrimination, both subtle and overt, that women face. People like Pauli Murray, whose work influenced the civil rights movement and expanded legal protection for gender equality. Former Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who insisted on equal justice under the law. People like William Mankiller, a Native American activist, social worker, community developer, and the first woman elected to serve as the principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. Patsy Mink, an American attorney and politician from the U.S. state of Hawaii. If I did not mention the first female Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, the first woman to lead a major political party in either chamber of Congress. To date, 59 women have served in the United States Senate, and currently 25 women, a quarter of the entire Senate, are serving alongside the Honorable Senator Warner in the 118th Congress. And yes, people like Admiral Lisa Franchetti, who has served as the 42nd Vice Chief of Naval Operations since the 2nd of September and is the acting Chief of Naval Operations now. Admiral Linda Fagan, the first four-star admiral in the United States Coast Guard and the first female to lead a military service and the only woman to be a de facto member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. General Jacqueline Van Ost, United States Air Force, the 14th Commander of the U.S. Transportation Command, and General Laura Richardson, United States Army, Commander of U.S. Southern Command. All four of those women are 4 stars, and they're all currently serving on active duty today. In other words, our progress has been the result of countless ordinary women and men whose names will never be written into the history books or chiseled on monuments, but when dedicated their lives to ensuring that American lives lives up to its promise of liberty and justice for all. What's also true is despite that incredible progress, we are living in a time of great change, a time where people are economically anxious. Unemployment has dropped below 4%. Wages are somewhat growing again, but while we've made progress in narrowing the gap between rich and poor, it is still too big. And the trend lines, because of globalization and automation, are still upon us. There is an important reason that so many working families feel like the system does not support them. It's because the economy hasn't caught up to some of the enormous changes that have transformed America over the past 50 years. Those days when the average family was a dad who went to work every day and a mom who stayed home and did all the unpaid labor, that's not what our economy looks like anymore. Households and work arrangements come in all shapes and all combinations, and yet some of our workplace policies still look like they're straight out of Mad Men. I will tell you A lot of the problems that I address on a daily basis at the Naval Station are really, really hard to solve. They end up on my desk because, for a variety of reasons, mainly manpower and resource challenges. The issues of how do we provide services and support to military families, the policies that are in place that can and will make a meaningful difference where solutions are not always obvious. True head hurters. Building a team of capable and motivated professionals who receive equal pay for equal work every single day. Issues that consistently rise to the top of concerns for working mothers: paid family and sick leave, and affordable childcare, the same problems that we're faced with our folks in the military. We are all competing for talent, and some companies have gone out of their way to accommodate for the working mothers as our society continues to evolve to the family, as the family dynamic changes. The Navy has moved towards maternity leave and paternity leave, modeling our program after the Coast Guard. That is how employers retrain great workers, and it's good for women because when childcare falls disproportionately on mothers, as it often does, it makes it that much harder to advance their careers. So we've got to retool our system so that modern families and modern businesses can thrive. And let me be clear, it is not about government or expanding some fictional welfare state. It is accounting for the realities of how women live today, the necessities of the 21st century and the 21st century economy. I'm an avid reader, and a book that I read several times, How Women Rise by Sally Helgesen, the world's premier expert on women's leadership. There were a couple of salient points. The author outlines 12 habits holding women back from their next raise, promotion, or job. Women at the highest levels can undermine themselves with specific self-sabotaging behaviors that are different from those that most frequently undermine men. One habit they highlight in the book, and that I talk about on often when I speak to mentees, is not claiming your achievements. I asked each of you a question. What is the first thing you say when someone compliments you at work? Do you say thank you? Or do you say, but it was my team? Or Mr. So-and-so and so-and-so helped me. Trust me, I'm absolutely guilty of that as well. No, I own it because I do that. Know that you do deserve the accolades. You work hard, know your self-worth. Some of your colleagues would simply say thank you and take all of the credit. But it's okay to take credit for those things that you have earned and for the hard work that you have done. You must know your worth. I've said that many times to those that I mentor. Sit on the front row always. Have your questions ready. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. You deserve that seat at the table just as much as the others sitting around the table. Know that. Some of us fall into the perfection trap, striving to be perfect. Striving to be perfect creates what? Stress. And we just talked about in one of those breakout sessions. For you and for those around you, as a matter of fact, because it's based on expectations that human beings may occasionally live up to, but which cannot be sustained. Striving to be perfect keeps you riveted on details, distracting you from the big picture orientation that's expected when you reach a senior position. Striving to be perfect creates a negative mindset in which you're bothered by every single little thing that goes wrong, since even a smaller mistake can ruin the whole. Striving to be perfect sets you up for disappointment for the simple reason that it's unrealistic. You and the people who work with you will never be perfect, at least as long as you're on this earth. We're never going to be perfect. We are especially vulnerable to the perfection trap, the belief that we will succeed if we do our job perfectly and never mess up anything. Experience and research suggests that women are vulnerable to desire to be perfect or to believe that if they're not perfect, they are somehow unworthy because of gender expectations that essentially start at childhood. I share these beliefs with many young women I mentor and coach on a daily basis. This brings me tremendous joy, and that is mentoring, laying the foundation for the next generation of young leaders. I feel extremely passionate about mentoring, and harnessing your power, mentorship, and camaraderie are absolutely imperative. Regardless of profession, mentorship, friendship, and a good support network are key enablers. Lean on your support networks. Seek guidance from those who have walked similar paths, and offer your wisdom to those who follow in your footsteps. Your mentors don't have to look like you. None of mine did. They don't have to be the same gender or color as you. None of mine were. They just need to be a good sounding board and care. Some of my greatest mentors, and I mentioned, are men who saw potential in me, encouraged me, and helped guide me. Most importantly, mentors are someone who will give you their honest advice and someone who will encourage you when you need it often, without judgment. Two items which I believe go hand in hand are perseverance and resilience. Becoming the commanding officer of Naval Station Norfolk was not simply a personal achievement. It was a testament to the power of perseverance. There are moments when the weight of expectations can feel overwhelming and when the road ahead seems impossible, and that's almost daily. I tell you, but all of you, I am a sailor and I will keep it clean. It's easy to look at success stories, right? I tell this to young people. They look at success stories and they don't see the journey, right? I just had the opportunity this morning to speak to some young people. I think they're in the back there. And yeah, how y'all doing? And I mean that. You have to be okay with failure and challenging yourself. And I'm speaking to these young people. And you're not going to have all the answers. Who had a life plan at 20 and knew what they were going to do 20 years later, right? You had some ideas and you may have changed that plan and trajectory, but it's okay. And not to create anxiety and stress young people because you don't have all the answers today, okay? So please do that for me. During my almost 7 months in tenure as the commanding officer of Naval Station, there have been plenty of setbacks and disappointments. But you know what? There have been far more achievements and success stories. I choose to focus on those. I choose to focus on the positive. I choose to celebrate the small wins each and every day. Oftentimes those wins come in my people. All right. Now, like I said to those young people this morning, oftentimes when you ask someone, do you like your job? Right. And they'll say, well, I like my job, you know. But if you ask someone if you like your job and they say, I love my job. Right. That's an emotion. Right. That's a feeling. I love my job, but I love my job because of the people. I love my job, like I was telling those young people, because of the opportunity and the relationships and the diversity of thought in the organization in which I serve. Resilience is not just about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward. It's about using adversity as a catalyst for growth, for positive change. It's about recognizing that setbacks are not the end of the road, but rather stepping stones on your journey to success. It is said that leaders provide guidance, inspiration, and motivation when achieving goals. They help to create a vision that rarely people around a common cause. Leaders possess the necessary skills and knowledge to make informed decisions and solve problems effectively. I would argue this is leadership, rather in the military or the civilian sector. Leadership is leadership. It was an absolute honor to be asked to represent the Navy on the Today Show. An amazing, amazing experience. And one of the things that I said when they asked me to do that, only if I had the opportunity to depict our Navy and use this as an opportunity to provide access and opportunity for people that otherwise have no background or understanding of the Navy whatsoever. Because you never know what someone might see and someone might hear and how that may encourage them. And they gave me that opportunity. And so I was happy to do that. Leadership is also about inclusivity. As women, we have a unique opportunity to lead with empathy, to create environments that foster diversity and inclusion. Inclusivity is not just a buzzword. It is a fundamental principle that drives improvement and excellence, and I believe that. As we harness our power, we must also be mindful of the power of education and continuous learning. Knowledge is not static. It's a dynamic force that propels us forward. It's the key to unlocking our full potential and shaping the future that we desire. Never stop learning, never stop seeking knowledge, and never stop challenging your own assumptions. The pursuit of knowledge is a lifelong journey, and it's a journey that leads to personal growth and professional success. Last and certainly not least, the importance of balance. It's easy to become consumed by your ambitions, to neglect your own well-being and the relentless pursuit of success. I am the absolute worst, not an example of balance. Balance means that there's a scale, it's weighted, and there's equivalency on both sides. And I think most women, when you're striving in your particular fields and your careers, you're going to give a little bit more to one than the other. Therefore, it's not balanced. Okay, it's not balanced. But self-care, as we talked about this morning, is a critical component to that. Take a vacation. I recently finally took a vacation. I did not take the cell phones. I didn't take the laptop, and the base didn't burn down. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You have to dial out. So over the last several minutes, I provided a few tips and insights and suggestions, and trust me, all of these items are things I work on daily, and I work on me daily. What I do advise, which is also recommended in that book that I previously mentioned, is to start with one thing. Pick one habit you would like to change or leadership skill you want to improve. Make a conscious effort each day to work on that and to do it until you see progress, and that's different for everyone. Keep doing it until it becomes a habit, because we are all ever evolving. In conclusion, as we gather here under the theme, Harness Your Power, I encourage each of you to keep at it. Don't be deterred. Take one step at a time. Build each other up. Build each other up. Build each other up. And be proud. Thank you so very much for your time this morning and this amazing opportunity. You all look amazing. This has been a fantastic, and let's not let it stop here, Kathy. I look forward to the next one. Thank you, dear.
She killed it, didn't she? Yes, I know she did. Yes, she did. Okay. Wow. I honestly feel like going out and changing the world. What about you? I got nothing else to do this afternoon. Actually, we do have a few more things to do this afternoon, very briefly, and they're all fun. So that's good. We want to remind you that your box lunches are out in the near the resource tables, so do be sure to collect that. Also, some of you had special dietary needs, and if you have an asterisk on the bottom of your name tag, that means that you indicated that in advance, which is so much better than indicating it like 30 seconds ago. So if yours is one that has a gluten-free or a vegetarian or something like that, I'll take all your gluten. No, I'm just kidding. You're going to go to the area where you checked in this morning, and they're going to have your special meal there. So that will be very good indeed. Quick reminder, do look at these resource tables and engage the folks there. Do check out the Centera Healthcare van which is right outside. They're doing some health assessments and all kinds of fun things. So please do that. Would you join me in thanking Senator Warner's staff and Old Dominion University staff? And this conference happens in this region every 3 years, but there's going to be another one next year, not here. But isn't it worth the trip? Wouldn't it be worth traveling to? Right? I'll be driving the bus, so I'll see you then. Thanks.